What's going on, guys? It's May, which means it's just about bikini season and summer box office movie season. And we're gonna make our top 10 summer movie box office predictions. Qualify for this list, it must fall between the first weekend in May and the last weekend in August. I know some of you are like, hey, it's not summer, it's spring. I don't make the rules, I just abide by them. You'd be smart to do the same. And to make the predictions, we have an awesome crew of box office savvy individuals. First off, I can't believe it's your very first time with us. She is the senior editor at Rotten Tomatoes, Gray Drake. He is the director of development at Collider Video. You know him from Fandango, one half of the Schmoes, Christian Harloff. And he's our old pal, but he's got a new show coming up. Check out Summer Movie Report, somewhat apropos, starting May 9th.
On ScreenJunkies Plus.
Dan Merle, good to see you, buddy. And before we get started, let's take a quick peek at everybody's list. First up, Christian Harloff. Like everyone else, he's got Captain America Civil War and Finding Dory at 1 and 2. He's the only one with Warcraft on his list, and he's the highest on Alice Through the Looking Glass. Next up, Gray Drake. She's the only one with Sausage Party on her list, and one of two with Ghostbusters making her top 10. Next up, our own Dan Merle. He's the highest on Jason Bourne. He's the only one with Neighbors 2 and Secret Life of Pets on his list, with Secret Life of Pets coming in at number 3. And my list, the correct list. I'm the highest on Ghostbusters with it at number 3, and I'm the only one with The Rock's Central Intelligence on their list. So guys, let's talk about your lists. Gray, let's start with you. What's one movie on your list where you think might sneak up and surprise us?
God, I hope it's Ghostbusters. I put it at number 10.
Yeah.
Only because the jury's still out. That trailer was terrible. Mm-hmm. And it didn't get me excited, but I have so much faith in Paul Feig and Melissa McCarthy together, and Kristen Wiig too.
I have Ghostbusters, the highest of anyone. I have it at number 3.
Wow.
That's
high.
You just took yourself way out of this competition.
Yeah.
Well, there aren't a ton of female-centric comedies this summer, and if Ghostbusters is good, I think it could catch fire.
Sure, but look, we're looking at the most disliked trailer in YouTube's history. Now, I'm not saying this movie cannot wind up being a hit. It can, but I think it has too much working against it right now to put itself in the top 10.
I hope that they turn it around. I love the creative team behind this movie, and I hope it does well. I couldn't put it on my list. I couldn't ignore it. It's got a lot going against it right now.
Christian, what's a movie that you were like, you know what? Maybe I'll put it in there.
You know, at my number 9 spot, I have Warcraft. Now,
Bold.
From what Duncan Jones, being a hardcore fan, his last 2 movies, with Moon and Source Code, which I really enjoyed.
Yeah.
I think this movie's going to shock
Such
people.
a weird choice.
It is. Well, he's a fan.
Right,
He's a big fan of the game. If it's a good film, that's why I put it into my 10, because I think that people will go out, talk about it word of mouth, and get it in there. But if it doesn't deliver, then it's not going to make it.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. Video game movies, no bueno.
They're actually the worst.
Yeah.
It's not going to attract people like me that don't play the game.
I just think Warcraft was big 5 years ago. I don't hear people talking about Warcraft. I hear them talking about Minecraft. I hear them talking about a lot of other games. I'm not a gamer myself, so I'm kind of in Gray's camp where it's just not really something that interests me.
As far as online gaming movies, I'm waiting for FanDuel, the movie. Okay.
The movie that I actually have way high up on my list is Secret Life of Pets. I have that at number 3 on my list.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody else has it on theirs. And the trailers have been entertaining. They've been fun trailers. It's from the same people that did Minions. I think with Zootopia, we've seen how a strong trailer that gets out ahead of the pack can really lift a movie, and so I'm betting big on it.
Yeah, furries will go to the movies.
Pets is not going to beat Finding Dory. There's no way. There's no way, because it's Ellen and Dory is a trusted brand.
True.
Yeah.
The sequel, and it's also coming off of Pixar, but I don't think the Pets is a bad bet. I think 3 is a bit high, but I think that it could certainly do what Despicable Me did. Kind of came out and made that kind of money.
So Gray brought up that it probably won't beat Dory, and to that end, we all have the same 1 and 2. 1, Civil War. 2, Finding Dory.
Yeah.
Why do you think we all went Civil War number 1? What's behind that?
Ultron was number 2, but Guardians topped the summer. Iron Man 3 topped the summer. Marvel has a track record of topping the summer.
Yeah.
And this is a really spread out summer. There's not a lot of slam dunks, and I feel like Civil War is one of the very few movies that is going to break at least 300
Well,
million.
yeah,
Yeah.
because that's the brand that is consistent with the quality of the product. Please be good.
I want to put
Please.
Christian on the spot right
Sure.
now. Okay, so you have Civil War #1.
Correct.
If you had to pick one movie that could possibly dethrone it,
Nothing. I don't.
Nothing. There's no way.
No, because Dan said it's going to possibly make 300 million. It's going to make about almost close to 200 million on its opening weekend. It's just it will be the biggest movie, definitely of the summer.
gotcha.
I'd give Dory a puncher's chance. I would. And, you know, if Suicide Squad's amazing, it could Guardians of the Galaxy, this whole
Yeah.
thing, come out in August and just shoot up and
And beat Civil War?
you never know.
You know, because the thing about Suicide Squad is that it has a real Guardians of the Galaxy vibe. Nobody really knows what it's going to do. And this is like Margot Robbie in her underpants, man.
Yeah.
You can get that on Google.
Which X-Men Apocalypse versus Suicide Squad, kind of a superhero smackdown there, and we all have them kind of close on our list. Dan, you're the only person with Suicide Squad higher. What are our thoughts on these two movies?
Even the teaser at the end of Days of Future Past was so cool that I was like, I'm already buying a ticket.
Days of Future Past did well, but I
Yeah.
just don't feel like Apocalypse is critic-proof at this point. I feel bad for Suicide Squad a little bit because it's not going to be allowed to stand on its own. It's in an unfortunate shadow of the reaction to Batman v Superman, and if there are problems with the movie, I'm worried that people are going to be too
But
harsh on it.
Batman is in it, and he was one of the most positive elements of
True.
Batman v Superman.
True.
And
People love the Joker. Maybe more
Yeah.
than they love Batman, they love the Joker.
Every time.
So
See, that's a great point. If he really does come out swinging, that could get a lot more butts in the theaters.
Dan and Christian, you are the only two here who have Alice Through the Looking Glass, the next installment of the Alice in Wonderland saga on your list.
yes, every year there's a movie I put on my list and I just go, ugh.
Yeah.
And this was that movie, but I looked at how much money the first movie made, and I
Yes.
said, even if this takes a 50% drop, it's still in that range.
Wow.
So I put
It's
it
hard
on
to
there.
deny numbers.
I didn't want to put it on.
I saw it. I
Alice?
can't
You saw
say
Alice?
anything about it except that I liked it better.
Okay.
So you might be right.
Who else is pretty excited that Jason Bourne is back in the
Oh,
mix?
come on.
Matt Damon.
Yes,
I'm
and
very
it looks
excited.
amazing.
Yes.
It looks so good because I love watching cities get destroyed. The last one with Matt Damon was like over 200 million.
It's really, yeah. And this looks great.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's 4. I put it high.
yeah.
People love spy movies. Spy last summer did really well. Spectre, which was a mediocre at best James Bond movie, still made a lot of money.
Kingsman was a bit of a breakout.
Kingsman made a lot of money.
Yeah.
Rogue Nation made a lot of money. People love the spy movies, and the trailer for this looks great.
Yeah.
It's you got the whole team back together. I think it'll do really well.
You are the only one to have Sausage Party on your list, the Seth Rogen comedy.
My favorite kind of party. This is a little bit of an optimistic pick,
Sure.
right? Because it has a couple of weird things going on. Well, more than a couple.
Yeah.
But it's R-rated and it's animated, and so it's gonna be tough for this one to really get into that top 10. I just want it to. The trailer's great.
I am so with you. It's not on my list, but I want it to be number 1. I want it to crush. I just think it has too much working against it right now in order to make that top 10.
For me, it was the Battle of the Rogans. My number 10 spot was between Sausage Party and Neighbors 2, and I went back and forth probably 3 or 4 times, and
Yeah.
I ended up going with the kind of proven, established hit. It comes out in a little bit more of a complimentary slot in the summer, so that's where I put that one.
It was back and forth for me on Neighbors 2 because I needed a comedy on my list, but I gambled on Central Intelligence.
Wow.
With Kevin Hart and The Rock. The Rock brings people in.
The Rock surprised us all with San Andreas last summer. Nobody put San Andreas on our list last summer, and it was in the top 10.
And they're promoting the hell out of this. I think this could get big general audiences into multiplexes. Star Trek Beyond. Justin Lin, he's moving from Fast and Furious to the Fast and Furious in Space.
You know, we love watching Chris Pine, and this time he's just gonna like.
We pine for Pine!
We truly do. He's just gonna be punching more stuff, it looks like.
Yes.
This goes back, though, to what we were talking about with Ghostbusters for me, is that I think that also the trailer is going to hurt this movie a little bit.
It didn't feel like a Star Trek movie. Star Trek purists were like, what am I watching here?
Star Trek has always been a tough sell. JJ's reboot did great. Star Trek Into Darkness did less.
Yeah.
And so that says to me that the franchise isn't on the incline, it's going down.
I'm the only person to have Spielberg's The BFG on their list. That movie could be lightning in a bottle.
I felt no buzz on this movie. I think people don't know what the movie is. The BFG, you don't even know what it's about. And this is a very family-saturated summer. There's so many animated movies and cartoons and Pixar and Angry Birds.
I remember a Roald Dahl book. I remember that book from when I'm a kid.
Right.
And that was pretty much it. Yeah, it's pretty.
Although the BFG, I can't stop help thinking, does that stand for Big Giants?
I know, right? That's the same thing. I think the same thing.
I don't know, it's dangerous initials. I'm the only one that didn't put the second installment of the Ninja Turtles on his list.
God bless you, sir.
Yeah, I know.
Slept on the first one, didn't put it on my top 10, made the top 10. This one looks better.
That's not saying much.
It's not saying much, but it looks better. And it was proven that people liked already the younger generation. Somebody went to see the last one, and this one is getting people like me even excited about it.
I echo those sentiments as well.
Dan, you're the only one that didn't put the Independence Day revisiting on your list, Independence Day Resurgence.
Yeah. We had Jurassic World last year. People were like, oh, Jurassic World did great, so Independence Day is going to do great. Jurassic World was its own separate whole thing.
Yeah.
You're selling Chris Pratt, you're selling the new dinosaurs. It was its own separate thing. I hate to say this, and I hope I'm wrong. I feel like this is going to be more Terminator Genesis as far as reaction.
No!
Not the quality of the movie. I feel like the response is going to be more Genesis of people going like,
I think it's going to be a terrible movie, but I can't wait to just jam popcorn in my face and watch this movie on the screen. And I really think that's going to be a lot of people's thoughts.
Yeah, see the lesser Hemsworth kill some aliens, why not? Okay, here's some movies that none of us had on our list that are fairly big openings. The Conjuring 2, Gray, put you on the spot, too spooky?
Oh, God, no. I can't wait. I hope that it gets in the top 10. It just won't.
No one has Ice Age Collision Course. Dan, you said it's a stocked summer as far as family movies.
box office is not climbing on these movies. It's declining. It's been, I think, 4 years since the last one. Just didn't find room for it.
Angry Birds.
Oh.
No chance.
Like, talk about a movie that's a few years too late. Is anyone playing Angry Birds anymore?
No, they needed a Candy Crush movie is what they needed.
No one had Pete's Dragon on their list.
I was close. I was close on Pete's Dragon. It was another one that I just don't think there's enough buzz around it again to put it into the top 10, but I wouldn't be shocked if it made it.
We all had Dory. You guys picked Alice. Those are
Yeah.
the ones that are going to bump movies like Pete just out.
Tentpole movies used to be like 4, and it seems like every weekend there's a tentpole movie.
Yeah.
This is going to be the summer where I think we don't see like a Lone Ranger or one of them fail. I think we're going to see 3, 4, 5 of these big budget movies fail.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Wait until the fall. Look at the numbers. What did you think of our predictions? What was too high? What was too low? Do you think Ghostbusters will do as well as I did? Also, we want you to compete against us. Go to ScreenJunkies.com/box office game and make your top 10 predictions. Dan, you have a little something associated with that, huh?
That's right. We will be tracking everyone's results all summer long on my new show. It premieres May 9th. Every week, myself, Sasha Pearl Raver, some awesome guests will be breaking down the box office, and we'll be keeping track week by week of the top 10 results. What movies got bumped in? What movies got bumped out? Who's leading in the contest? How badly am I doing? I think it's going to be pretty bad, but it's going to be really fun.
So.
We're going to be tracking. This is the biggest summer movie season and the most unpredictable one I think we've had in a very long time. So every Monday morning on Screen Junkies Plus, Summer Movie Report with Dan Murrell.
So, man, that is so awesome. And that's so cool that you're making it interactive like that. That's like the future.
It's fun, yeah. That's why we wanted everyone to go to ScreenJunkies.com and sign up so that we can track everyone's results, and we will know before the end of the summer how everyone's doing.
That's really cool. And you know what else is really cool? These people that came and talked to us today. What a super cool panel. Gray Drake, thank you for making your Screen Junkies debut. Woohoo! Christian, always a pleasure, my friend. And Dan Murrell, I'll see you across the hall.
Absolutely.
I want to thank you for watching. I'm Hal Rudnick. Hit me up on Twitter. Bye-bye.
We often refer to that device that he used and when the car slipped over and the Winter Soldier's coming after him and he cuts a hole in the concrete to escape as his lightsaber.
Yep.
In fact, we were going to do for the bloopers reel, we were actually just going to turn it into a lightsaber when he hit the button on it.
He's kind of laying on the ground and he goes, "Shh."